think of kind of a Mundo coming to mind, but he is still very, very good. And Wiggly used to play for Cloud9 Academy.
Yes.
And then went over in exchange for Blabber, and now seeing him on the stage, see what he's able to do here, because ReignOver wasn't performing too well. Darshan also was kind of that top half of the map that wasn't doing too hot, and so this might be a kind of a look for CLG in the future if this works out for them.
Certainly nice to see teams kind of dipping into their full rosters here with Academy squads behind them, but we'll see what happens here in the draft. We've got Tom, Kench, Kindred, and Morgana, the 3 bands there from CLG, and Aatrox Nocturne is the 2 red side standards.
Akali still up, Zoe still up.
Vulcan also taken away, so Varus is the first pick here for Stixxay. Looks like braum is going to be stolen there for Huhi. Wants to keep that out of the hands of Biofrost. And starting to see a lot of this. Tom Kench banned, but Trundle plus strong support seems to be a very popular red side choice today.
Yeah, Tom Kench was banned away, and so was Morgana, so they're just saying, all right, Huhi, let's go down tier list, get yourself the braum, see what they'll pick into it here.
I don't know what they're cheering, but I'm enjoying the enthusiasm. Graves Mundo, here's the lock-in for CLG. Gonna give Wiggly an aggressive jungle and Fallen Bandit that tank, like you mentioned.
Yep. When I think of Fallen Bandit, I think of Mundo, even from, I think, a year ago when I saw him for the first time. But yeah, Wiggly going to be on a very aggressive jungler here. We'll see what he's able to do, because this is a counter matchup to the Trundle. It's one of the best champions you can play into it. And we'll see what he ends up doing with it, because it is his LCS debut on this stage.
There's also Ashe locked in for Apollo with a big smile on his face alongside Febiven. So I'll move into phase 2 now of these bans and see what the teams want to be targeting out.
Potentially that support position to pinch Biofrost down, or even the mid lane. And I would say getting rid of more and more engage and kind of taking it away from Biofrost, who's been in charge of their engage for a lot of the split, would be quite nice.
Yep, I'll start away. Azir is the other one taken off Febiven's hands. Feels like regardless of the metagame, Febiven's Azir has always been a threat.
True. Very true. Zoe's still on the board, though. Something that needs to be considered. But it feels like now people are going, wait, Fizz just destroys Zoe. I don't think we can pick it blind.
Zillion also a ban away.
Potential support as well, and also mid.
Seen a lot of that one crop up, so Clutch game we don't want to deal with that possibility. And then last ban LeBlanc, so 2 kind of signature champions from Febiven being taken away here. Apparently people are cheering for Pantheon.
Ah, the diction got better.
All right, 12 seconds now for Clutch to make this pick. If it is Pantheon, I'm going to have to give somebody in the crowd credit.
I think it would be GP into the Mundo. It's a classic matchup. Solo's going to play it. They'll pick their top laner here. I'm sorry, guys.
Solo's GP also really good. So
yeah, and also you want to save your mid lane for last, because if you pick Zoe here, they'll pick Fizz into it. If you pick Fizz, which I don't know why you would, it would things get pretty awkward from there.
Pick something else.
Yeah. Also, if the thing is, if Huhi picks like Syndra, he might just go Orianna.
Ooh,
here.
baby!
Ooh.
The Via Daddy Bod.
Yeah, you ban him out enough. He's got to go dig down and be like, oh no, I got to go play the Bard. What will I do?
There's a ruse all along as Biofrost will take Bard into battle. Would have been good with the Zillion as well. So maybe some foresight from Clutch as the last pick from CLG looks to be required for Huhi. Ah, here he is again.
Yeah, I think you're pretty free to pick the Zoe into this if you want to. You can play Fizz, but I think he'd go for something like a Syndra or Orianna here into the Ryze. Maybe Cassio?
Yeah, kind of a classic kind of pick or something else. I mean, Febiven has, like you're saying, apart from the bans and picks, almost every option available to him here.
Akali is up if he wants to style, but
not today.
Gonna play the Syndra. All right. So far, Clutch Gaming, Solo once again on the Gangplank. Every time he gets this, he does decently, and it's really not like a lane where he just gets destroyed. He stays even. He's really good in later team fights. But Febiven, you want to see a little bit more from him in terms of controlling the game from the mid lane here.
I think for me, definitely looking at the new blood here for CLG. Yes. Look at that top side, Fallen Bandit. A pick that can be impactful, although maybe not so much early. And Wiggly, especially on the aggressive side of the jungle matchup, counter-picking here with Graves. Look for him to get a lot of stuff done early on.
Yeah, and watching Wiggly, watching Fallen Bandit, and seeing they can get back into a form where CLG fans will be proud of this team because they've missed 2 playoffs. They're not going to have any appearance at Worlds. They're locked out. They cannot have a postseason. And CLG, I mean, people talk about them being an organization that used to lose a whole bunch back in the Doublelift days. Like, they never won trophies, but they made all of the playoffs. It was the first time they had ever missed playoffs this spring. And 2 in a row and not going to Worlds or not going to these playoffs is still a huge kind of blow to the CLG fandom.
Yeah, and that's a fandom that runs deep, certainly, throughout the annals of League of Legends history. But we'll see what happens here between Clutch and CLG. Not quite playing for fun, I would say.
No.
Definitely more playing for pride.
Yeah. Well, CLG, they have 2 new people on the squad. They want to play for the future. And Clutch Gaming, they want to play to get better for the gauntlet.
And, I mean, the hard work, unfortunately for them, doesn't stop until they're absolutely eliminated from the gauntlet. So Clutch have a lot ahead of them potentially, and they'll have to play as though that is the case. For CLG, it's time to maybe show off some of your academy players. Because in that league, they've had a really solid split.
Yeah, you want to go...
Wiggly's been one of the reasons. Let's see if we can find out why.
They are in academy semifinals. So, just get more stage practice. Get yourself ready for that. And, maybe able to bring home the Academy Worlds banner.
The coveted, as Wiggly standing in the pixel brush. Looks like no one's doing anything too creative here at level 1.
Interesting that he went for the fleet footwork. A lot of Graves are going for press the attack now because the auto E, auto into your combo is usually pretty devastating.
And of course, Febiven on his Syndra. I'll see how he does. Looks like Stixxay already proc lethal tempo, so Hakuo ate an E. Stixxay has that ability on cooldown. Got a little bit of poke there. Biofrost picking up chimes. It's been a while since we've seen Bud, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe time to remind the viewers exactly what Bud does.
Runs around, collects chimes, meeps a whole bunch.
And then somehow kills you.
Yeah. Oh, he does a lot of damage with Electrocute.
Yeah, Ignite as well.
It's funny because, like, Electrocute got nerfed on live, but actually it's a buff for Bard. Because normally, like, the Electrocute change, it's kind of like a net. If you get 2 of them off, you're fine, right? But with Bard, he doesn't have to spend mana to proc Electrocute. Basically, it's auto or Q auto. It's basically the same. And he took Sweeper, so Wiggly's going to get in here, wiggle his way to the bottom.
That was really cute from CLG.
And surprise!
And here we go. They're going for it. Apollo going to get slayed up with a red buff already. Good exhaust from Hakuo. Now Lyra's coming down.
And second surprise.
1v1. I think Wiggly might be okay here. Biofrost behind him. Wiggly going to keep fighting. Hakuo looking for the flash Q, but Wiggly flashes down. Electrocute proxy. That is down. CLG grab first blood. And Wiggly's going to force Lyra's flash as well.
Yeah, and he saw he had red buff, not blue, so he's going to go right into the jungle. Biofrost is going to come here with him. This might come down to a smite. Lyra's going to go check. Doesn't have a ward available, so he has to face check this.
Smite up for both as well, but Lyra's low. Wiggly might just force a fight here. Although Febiven now going to roam up. Who's going to get the blue buff? It's going to be close. Smite down. Lyra grabs it.
Lyra gets the smite, so it's not stolen away there. And they're going to see Wiggly with very low mana going after this crab. Does he want more? Biofrost is saying no, no.
Yeah, Huhi also pushed the wave because Febiven roamed down, and Biofrost still there ready with the stun.
Yeah, it was a great turn there from Biofrost to actually realize that Hakuo had gone too far forward. And this is your Ace or Predator replay here, where Wiggly walks up, goes for the red buff proc onto Apollo. Exhaust comes down when Wiggly isn't really doing any damage because the flash went out. And then Lyra checks Wiggly in the brush, and then Biofrost is immediately on that side. So Hakuo went forward, doesn't quite connect the Winter's Bite. The flash Q basically makes it so that he sells his life out for that. And Solo...
Is that it again? Oh, Solo's already too far forward.
Yeah,
Smoke screen down. Wiggly going to get this
Wait,
one.
there's a turret shot.
Yeah, goodbye. Oh, man!
Wait, there was a turret shot.
He had to make doubly sure.
Yeah, you guys got to see him die.
Doesn't count unless you see him go down. But still 2 quick kills for CLG. Solo going to TP back here to top lane. And Mana Crystal Longsword looking not so great.
Yeah, and that was one where Solo, he was too far forward. He saw Wiggly on the ward and just said, I know that I'm dead, so he just decided to press up, get whatever he could in terms of the remaining CS. I'll see that right here. Yeah, he spots Wiggly here. There's no way he's making it out. Says, okay, I see where this stands. And then, he took aggro a little too, because those minions are just blocking the big wave from going forward. So, ends up getting him killed. Draws aggro.
Zero trying for a very creative steal, but Wiggly will secure the buff. Zero gets some vision, but Wiggly back down to his wolf camp is back in the bot lane here. Biofrost, some poke down. Stixxay doing the same here, just throwing out the arrows. Picks up the little health pack, and everything continues as normal. Looks like Wiggly is gonna make his first back of the game. You can see 2 early jungle items there for Lyra, and now that's versus Red Smite Longsword plus 2 control wards for Wiggly.
Ooh, 2 control wards. He's trying to impress somebody.
1 is just normal, but 2 is you really trying to show off.
The 1 control ward early is like, especially your first back, that's the one where you're like, all right, I'm doing my due. 2 control wards, just like, look at me, man. Look at me.
He's now a true member of CLG.
Yeah.
By 2 control wards first back. There's a TP in here from Huhi.
Like, I don't even think the support wants to buy 2 control wards on the first back.
Ignite, electrocute, Biofrost Bard? No, not at all.
No.
He's all about, he's just straight up buys like an Antone.
Luden's Echo, Lich Bane.
Yes. First by Shane would be great if Biofrost wanted to go that direction until he does clear out the minions here.
That was like the Bard one-trick build for a while. It was like Luden's Echo, Lich Bane.
The amount of items I've seen work on Bard from high-level Bard players is interesting. I see a lot of rapid fire cannon before. Seeing a lot of Biofrost getting attacked by Huhi. Good block on the stun latch there by putting up the Unbreakable. But ward is down, Wiggly's here, and even with Lyra behind the turret there, Clutch do not feel like they can press forward.
Now, the Trundle is not a very good early fighter at all in terms of against the Graves. Like, tank junglers and melee junglers, sure. But the Graves just shuts him down, so anything that he wants to get involved in, even if he's not a really good ganker either, the Trundle, it's no hard CC, just has to use the pillar. So it does become very difficult to kind of nail somebody down and make it so that you can get a kill, even when they have no flash. It's pretty hard.
Kind of at the mercy of Wiggly's aggression, and that has been the early stage of this game, certainly. He's been involved in both of the kills, pretty much. Only has the 1 kill, but he was topside to watch Solo die.
All right, I'm watching Biofrost, 1 control ward. Uno.
So the true support of CLG is Wiggly.
And then you saw Stixxay. Yeah, I'm just saying. When you see somebody buy 2 to 3 control wards on their first or second back, you know they're trying to impress somebody. Because you never want to just be like, he played well, like when coaches are talking about, he played well, he just didn't buy enough control wards. Like, you can fix that instantaneously.
That's true. It's Lyra here in top lane looking for Fallen Bandit, but that's a Mundo with ulti. So Lyra just going to have to take the wards instead. Eat some briefcases for his trouble. Fallen Bandit not feeling too bad despite some pressure here in the lane. Is down pretty substantially to Solo in CS, and Solo actually did go Klepto, something we didn't check in with just yet, so he's certainly looking to play more to farm the lane, but like we said, Wiggly's pressure has been strong, so he's going to use that bot lane and his aggression to take the Drake for CLG.
Yeah, has a good CS lead on the top side for Solo, has the Kleptomancy like you said, and so he's basically trying to farm off the Mundo. And Fallen Bandit, even though he got that assist, remember he blew his flash to just kind of see Solo die. So when you blow your flash like that, it means that you can't be aggressive either, because you might get ganked. So the fact he blew that meant that he got the kill, but it wasn't as much of an advantage as he would have liked.
Wiggly's still invading. Actually going to start the blue buff up here.
Yeah, and I don't think they have any wards down to spot him actually taking it. So I think he's going to get away with this, and then Lyra's going to walk up and kind of see it right before it dies. Yep.
Goes to the Gromp instead, but Wiggly now level 6, successfully counter jungling there.
And this is not just Wiggly doing well, this is also the bottom lane doing well and setting him up, because Biofrost with the sweeper to let him in early, and then also controlling the bottom side of the map. And he knows that Lyra's here.
Runs a control ward, looking for a potential dive. They're actually just going to force here. That's a great chain of corruption from Stixxay. Goodbye, Apollo. Exhausted down to Wiggly, but the robot from Huhi's going to mean a kill again. Biofrost actually grabs the double kill.
Oh, there's no minions, there's no minions. Wow.
Yeah, GP ult was pretty good there from Solo, but not enough to get an extra kill for themselves. CLG come up trumps in bot lane.
Comes up trumps.
Yeah.
It's the appropriate cheer.
Yeah.
100%. Did a lot of work in the entire game so far. The sweeper start, very heads up. Also because he has zombie poro. So he's taking sweeper early in the game, and then he's just zombie poroing where he would normally put a ward anyway. And then they're playing up with the help of Wiggly. And so Huhi comes in here too. Really good chain of corruption. Into this, the burst there. Biofrost takes up that first kill. Gets the second kill. Needs to walk back around around the little trophy to get out, but perfectly done there.
And again, CLG up 4-0. Actually now 1,000 gold ahead just off the kill money they've collected. Still objectives to play for here. No Drake's being picked up just yet. No, there is one mountain.
Yeah, it's a mountain.
It's hiding, excuse me.
Yeah, Wiggly pretty much soloed that. That's right before he got the blue buff. Yeah.
So he's hiding in a shrubbery. Huhi trying to clear this out. Febiven has done a good job pressuring here. Is up a little in CS, but really, Clutch just feels like they're kind of farming it out at the whim of CLG's early aggression.
Yeah, Clutcher, you know, they have farm advantages in top and mid, but that hasn't been the focus here. It's been that bottom side of the map, playing off Stixxay Biofrost. And so Wiggly is kind of, I would say, really putting the pressure on here, where he got that kill top and capitalized off of Lyra, or off of Solo overextending, and then went to the bottom side multiple times now. So he's making it really hard for Apollo and Hakuo to get into this game.
Lyra was on the Rift Herald, but I think Wiggly's now going to check. I don't think he'll be there in time, though. Lyra ready with the smite, so could be a successful steal away of this objective.
Yep, gonna get it from right into their noses. And Lyra's gonna pick that one up. We'll see where he's able to use it. This can potentially change the momentum and maybe get them mid lane, because Febiven, like you said, had been pressuring. There's a blue buff for Huhi. There's no blue buff for Febiven, because it was stolen away by Wiggly.
Yeah, despite all the good moves here from CLG, still waiting for either team to really convert on objectives. So that Rift Charge should help Clutch get one of these turrets, maybe more if they can set something up here. Fallen Bandit still farming up against Solo, who is ahead. 30 CS plus Kleptomancy money. Moving in pretty fast for that Trinity Force.
Returning to the scene of the crime.
Might as well. Fallen Bandit a bit behind, but he's fine. He's kind of farming it out right now. Make sure to pressure, get the first turret for yourself. Against a team with Rift Herald, that's always impressive.
Yep, and potentially, like, Febiven can't do much mid. He has to back because he had low mana, and Huhi has that blue, and because they stole it away. So Wiggly, Biofrost are actually doing so much in this game to just control the entire map, because everything's connected in League of Legends, right? You get that pressure off the bottom, you start getting the blue buff, puts the mid laner behind, you give your own blue, and then you get to pressure, and then this happens where Lyra is now, he has to go mid, right?
Fallen Bandit about to get ganked.
He's got ulti.
Gonna pop it. Lyra's gonna subjugate. Here's a TP from Huhi. Now Lyra's gonna be forced out of there. Fallen Bandit looking to chase. Take down the control ward, find the root. Lyra forced a flash.
Interesting. Decided to go for the flash there, over the wall, instead of running further, because he doesn't know what's going on in the jungle. And especially since Biofrost is now out on the map too. Biofrost is about to be on the top side. He's actually scouted the whole jungle and realized there's nothing here. Lyra hasn't been able to place wards inside of their top jungle. And so it's completely dark.
There's just something about that area of the map, perhaps. The questionable flash zone.
Yeah.
Multiple people have committed their summoners around there.
In just this game.
Yeah. Something about it. Players are drawn to that spot. Oh, Biofrost. It's a bait. It's a bait. Run. It's not a bait. Mid Herald channeled there in mid lane.
Watch for the arrow.
Oh, very nice. Huhi gonna get smacked in the head by that one. Forced to flash out of there. Shelly in. Takes down the turret. CLG gonna have to deal with this.
Looks like they weren't completely ready for that, because Febiven, no follow-up stun or anything like that. They just wanted that turret just to even things up, but it does get them the middle turret, which is worth a little bit more. And map pressure, as Stixxay been left alone on the bottom side to just farm this up, and they're actually swapping lanes too. So this big minion wave isn't even going to go over to Stixxay. It's going to go over to Solo.
You see Stixxay actually just staying here and pressuring his turret. Biofrost is still here. Stixxay finishing a Blade of the Ruin King, Solo with his Trinity Force. But actually, in the 2v1 with two more on the side, as blue buff once again is going to get stolen. Solo's going to have to ult the wave and try and finish this off. Barrel combo does land onto Stixxay, but he'll just clean up the rest of these minions, lifesteal up, and keep up that pressure.
Yep, and that's an immense amount of pressure too. It's been a while since we've seen a bottom lane kind of take over, stay in the bottom lane, not swap, and then just pressure it down. That's exactly what they're doing here too, because the Bard, it's like there were 4 support bans thrown their way total, with the Morgana, the Tahm Kench, then the Alistar, and the Zillion too. And also keep in mind that the Braum was taken away, so 5 supports denied. Biofrost says time to play the Bard, the classic from him, and it's one that's just causing so much pressure.
Fallen Bandit also in some trouble. Apollo, though, too far forward, about to get cleaved. TP in. You've got to protect Apollo. Fallen Bandit. He's going all in. He's going all out. Run, run. Hakuo is going to force the flash away, but he does live for a little while longer.
Yeah, that was actually Apollo making a huge mistake because he walked forward, thought that he'd be able to get to the turret and give it the last finishing touches. The Fallen Bandit is up in front of the minion wave, catches it, and doesn't let them get to the turret.
Nice stun there, but Febiven can't quite finish it off. Stixxay stays bot side and takes the turret.
And meanwhile, Wiggly optimizing, getting the Cloud Drake. So CLG are doing so much that's good right now, and they're doing it at the same time where they aren't wasting any moment.
And again, despite these objective trades, CLG did get the first turret. They're actually up 2,000 gold and 2 Drakes through all of this. Just kind of keeping that pressure lead against Clutch, despite the map being opened up a little bit more and trades starting to happen.
And now Biofrost is freed up. This is one of Bard's favorite times in the game to just roam around. Both outer turrets are down. Or sorry, the 2 ones from the bottom side are down. So he'll probably rotate and try to get control of the top side with Drake not being an issue. And he'll play between the mid and the top. And it looks like they're putting Ryze, they're putting Huhi in the top side. It's kind of be a 1-3-1 right now. So Biofrost gets to roam around, has the mobility boots. Kind of look for picks. They've been denying Febiven blues. That was another blue that went over to them. They're going to hand this one off to Huhi in the side lane. Febiven, he's feeling the pain.
Makes his split pushing that much easier. Febiven, I think, has not got a single blue so far. I think Clutch have actually got 1 total. And they almost lost the first one as well. The CLG continuing to play together. Time to counter jungle once more, using that Bard pressure.
There hasn't been an uncontested blue. That's from on the side of Clutch Gaming's jungle. Yeah, that bottom blue has just gotten a lot of attention.
Febiven also took it back here, so maybe a window for CLG to press onto this mid turret, but Lyra is here to help the waves. Fallen Bandit hanging out, looking for solo. Execution is going already done. Fallen Bandit going to get a proc as the barrel combo. Let solo just run around him. Wiggly wants this turret. By the looks of things, he's going to move up here with the rest of his team.
What's the counter move, though, from Clutch? Febiven shoving mid, looking for Fallen Bandit in the bottom side. And there's no objective, no neutral objective to really play for, so this might be a push for 2 turrets from both sides.
We'll have to see. Realm up ready.
Yep. Trying to get the minions,
Got a couple in there. And now the rest of the wave's coming. GP ult there from Solo. The wave's going to catch up, though, but Apollo's there to make sure it goes down. And that's going to call off the push from CLG.
And they're looking for that bottom turret. It's almost down. I feel like they have so much momentum and pressure here that they could actually... Oh, wait.
Wiggly stun. Follow up
They
there
are.
for Febiven. Bardo's really good.
So good.
Biofrost gives Wiggly a Zhonya's and saves him from Febiven's ulti.
I'm going to let the crowd take this one.
Why do people stop playing Bard?
It's too risky. I don't know. I don't believe it. It's like the Zyra thing, right? But, oh, it gets hit. Biofrost, I gotcha. The Midas touch.
That's literally picture-perfect ulti from Biofrost. Not a single ultimate sphere touched Wiggly today.
That was so cool. Bard plays like that just makes me so happy.
I'd be tilted, by the way.
But it's not even like ultiing the Syndra. It's like, oh, I gotta stop the Syndra to stop it from ulting. It's like, no, I gotta ulti my guy.
I got time for that.
That was perfect.
All right, well, now push on the mid lane from CLG. Febiven recovering from the last play that he just experienced, running back towards the mid lane, but we'll be there in time to wave clear that out. He's pretty strong as well. I mean, farmed up to Ludens plus double pen, so plenty threatening against the likes of Stixxay.
And even Wiggly, he almost felt it there. Just need a little bit of help.
CLG is looking to play maybe for that next Drake, but it's not up for a few minutes. I mean, they do have 3 turrets apiece, which is nice. The top outer actually dead, but mid lane's going to be the tough one here.
And CLG, remember, good early game team. Mid game has been the fall off for them, all split. And they're hitting that point now. Good early game. Clutch Gaming, remember, they're the team that likes to take it 40 minutes, 35-minute wins, right? And the 35-minute win for Clutch is a fast win. That's how they win quickly, is 35 minutes. They love to stall for the late game. It's kind of been their MO all split long, even last split.
Yeah, I feel like all year long almost.
It's been the identity of the Clutch Gaming team. So CLG really want to make sure that they can close it pretty quickly have this advantage, and they want to snowball it.
I like this for mid-game proactivity, just moving people through the jungle. Oh, great touch from Wiggly. Actually gets out from under the stun with quick draw. Clutch collapsing, portal away, and back to mid lane.
Bard is really great for those reconnaissance missions where you go into the enemy jungle and it's like, well, bring a partner to help you ward. You bring somebody to help you ward, throw down trinkets. They can all get out together.
Ulti incoming, yeah. Apollo gets
Whoa, the toe!
with a Q, but the block is there. Ulti also there from GP. Now the ult turned back around onto Huhi. He's forced to flash away. Solo here, but Stixxay shooting away. Hako is going to get low. He should be dead. Going to be a tough one here. He's just going to get cut off there as Wiggly able to get the last hit.
They start that one off with Biofrost once again. He's catching Apollo barely, and Hakuo went too aggressive at the end there. This game, so in favor of CLG. 5-0, but the 2K. See, right now, Biofrost's on fire, 100%. He's really close, too. The mobility boost makes it so that the Bard ultimate travel time is lower because he's closer. Throws it down. They want to change. They want to turn this around. Stixxay's doing well against Solo, and then Fallen Bandit's coming up. And then Hakuo went forward, ends up eating the Chain of Corruption, cleanses, but he doesn't have Flash. He has actually swapped his Flash to a cleanse, so didn't have that.
Wiggly once again soloing a Drake. Looking for Cloud here. CLG want to collect their 3rd overall. Again, the pressure keeps mounting. It does feel like that mid-outer turret is the thing kind of keeping Clutch in the balance here. The Stixxay has 2 items. Huhi's building up to 2. Biofrost making plays all day.
Yeah, it's kind of Febiven's lane. The wave clear is really intense for this competition. Decent, it's ranged. Solo, ring around the Rosie versus Fallen.
He's just forward flashing. He wants him. He wants a solo kill. Solo! He's going to be protected by Hakuo. Fallen Bandit maybe now regrets using that flash. Going to keep running though.
Yeah, his team's not out on the map. Even if he got a kill, I don't know what he would have accomplished.
He's so impossible to kill though. He's walking away.
Walk away.
Oh, here's the TP.
Oh, walk in.
Huhi, Stixxay joining.
Double.
Arrow lands onto him, but Apollo now under threat, forced to flash away. Stixxay looking to channel it. Hakuo, flash unbreakable to try and save him, as Stixxay has to get out of there. The ult, this time a little late from Biofrost, and now he's going to die to the Syndra ult, but Huhi going to turn it around. They'll kill Lyra. They actually killed Solo as well. Febiven though can still find some pickoffs here as Hakuo tries to find someone in the jungle.
Well, that's a 2-for-2 at the end of the day. Ends up going to this big fiesta in the jungle. They just had everybody collapse. And Fallen Bandit, I was like, your team's not out on the map.
Not done. Huhi
What's
gets
going
stunned
on?
though. Febiven calm in that situation. CLG trying to keep chasing here and look for another kill. If Febiven is alive, that means the mid turret is safe.
Let's see that one more time here. Fallen Bandit. Yeah, now he's running back in. Everybody's kind of run for the hills. The double TP, Apollo with the point blank. Ultimate, and the flash over the wall. And a great block from Hakuo. That was an arrow that was going to kill Apollo. And then the save there onto Solo. Huhi ends up getting him right out of the Bard ultimate. And it's a 2-for-2 because Febiven shows up. He's been the one kind of keeping Clutch in there.
Yep. He's got one of their only kills in this game. 2 items now on the Syndra. Very strong at this stage of the game. But CLG is still really dictating pace in this game versus Clutch. Still up about 2K. Again, I think as soon as something happens in the mid game, if CLG can break this outer turret cleanly, I think they have so much more dominance over the map.
Wait.
Or 2-man Baron.
2-man Baron. Use Huhi. Oh, Ashe arrow. There you go. Hawk shot. Spot.
We've been had out of there. Lyra though. Maybe a target, good chain of corruption. Hakuo going to try and block it off. The GP ult's nice as well. Ashe arrow in, but it only tags someone in the back line. And that's Hakuo down. Did save the jungler though.
Yep, saves the jungler, so the smite still stays alive in terms of the potential for it. And Biofrost, he's fast.
He's got ult as well, but
not gonna grab him.
Solo just gonna fight back around towards the mid lane. CLG really want to try this Baron.
Yeah, just bait him to it. And this is CLG kind of playing the way that they used to, where you get an early game lead and then you go bait objectives. They haven't baited objectives in a long time.
Run what? Oh, they already picked up Solo.
He had to face check. They didn't have anything left to really get in there.
It looks like mid turret now, maybe to take for CLG. Just happy to bait for the Baron and then take it. An easier objective off it. Although Febiven is back, so once again, mid turret is safe.
Yeah, even though they've been taking his blue over and over again, I don't think he got the last one either. I think Huhi got 2 back-to-back. And Solo, I mean, they don't really have anything that they can do here. there's so much darkness, you'd have to send a hawk shot. If that's on cooldown, and the arrow's on cooldown, and the blue trinket's on cooldown, and your ultimate's on cooldown, there's no way to check that without somebody, whether it's your team on the top half of it, or you face checking from that angle. You have to walk towards the Baron. Yeah, sometimes the bush has people in it. Sometimes it doesn't. That's the risk you have to take.
It always has a Garen, though. That's the most important.
That is the rule.
There's Biofrost. I like what he's doing with this build as well. It looks like the Andrew's Torment on the way. Arrow.
Whoa.
Who's cutting highlights for this game?
I don't know. Biofrost?
It's gonna be a lot. Hopefully there's a solo Biofrost cam right now. So I feel like you can just run these back to back to tell the story of the game so far.
Yeah, there's been some ones where I'm just like, I feel like League of Legends is just favoring him right now. Like the toe of the Ashe right inside the ultimate. Right there, it looked like the Bard just had a big arch in his back, like he was posing for Instagram or something. Just like, what? How was he able to dodge that arrow?
And again, like, what CLG are doing around this Baron pressure is still really scary for Clutch. Apollo, ooh, the double CC chain. Hakuo gonna block the rest of it. Stixxay chain corruption was good. Unfortunately, he can't catch Apollo despite not having flash. And again, like, how much better do these plays look if the minions are just pushed up a little bit further?
Yeah, that's true. Once you can get that turret down. But it's been Febiven for Clutch Gaming who's been the one who's the rock right now, just kind of keeping him in it.
Blue trinkets.
And you can see all of them are like, we have to group up and face check. No more one-person face checks.
And still we play the game. Are CLG on Baron? Answer is no. Clutch Gaming finally get the info. Clutch up in 40 seconds. Clutch finally clear out all the vision around Baron. CLG just back to pushing out the lane, setting up for the next objective, I guess.
Uh-oh. Yeah, they're like, let's go get the blue buff again from Clutch Gaming. It's like, Solo's going to take it so like nobody else can take it. Just to make sure that at least they get their blue buff. It's not Febiven getting it, but at least it's someone.
CLG, I think, again, still looking to set up around this mid turret, but this time Apollo's here. Clear out those minions with the Rune and Hurricane. CLG still playing it pretty slow. They can look for Drake number 4 in 5 seconds.
Yeah, Cloud Drake up very, very shortly. And that's going to be Huhi on the top side with no teleport for a bit.
30 seconds. Pretty relatively long time.
Wow, I was like, it's 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I was about to be like, yeah, it's probably 10. Wow.
Cloud Drake there over to CLG. No real Baron threat either for Clutch.
Clutch Gaming do have control of the area, though. And that's still important if you want them to face check you.
It does feel like Clutch kind of farming their way up to the point they feel comfortable fighting in this game. Solo's pretty boned. Apollo also doing well, although he's kind of woefully behind Stixxay as far as the numbers go.
That's true. But you got to watch for those arrows. That's kind of how he gets in. Stixxay, 1-1-7. Large amount of participation here. And then he's also got this massive, almost 70 CS lead for himself at 27 minutes.
CLG kind of setting us up nicely. Bot wave is pushing for them. Huhi back to pressure on the top lane as well.
And Stixxay has teleport, and he's been playing the side lane. He's level 15. Apollo has been on mid-clear duty. He's level 12. He's been sharing experience this entire time, whereas Stixxay is kind of getting solo EXP whenever he's picking up these minions, just like right now. Everybody was in mid lane there for Clutch to clear it out, and Stixxay's like the only one getting experience on these ones.
Yeah, Solo no TP for 70 seconds, by the way, so he does have to answer in-hit wave there. He's going to look for a kill for Febiven. He's going to be forced to flash away, but here's Stixxay looking for the chain. Not over the wall, though. But CLG again, back to pressuring Baron.
Yep, getting the flash, though, for the ultimate is worth it. Biofrost will have that back up in 90 seconds. And he has a Haunting, guys.
He's ready.
Yeah, Leandre's looks like it'll be on the table for him.
Oh, hits Biofrost this time. Goodbye. Flashes away from the parlay that was already in the air. Solo gets an easy kill and some extra gold to boot.
Yeah, Bio Daddy.
All right, and unfortunately for CLG, all their careful play, that pick loses them not just the vision around the Baron, but maybe the buff as well if Clutch want to force it.
Don't think they'll force it right now. They don't have the coverage, Clutch Gaming. It's even harder once your support is dead.
Ooh.
Re-establish vision, but
Good
follow.
He's dead. Actually, the block's not fast enough there for Hako. Now Hako in trouble. Braum going to try and pick up Febiven, but it's shut down by the stun. That's going to force Lyra to flash away.
That was a good call there from CLG because there was no teleport on Solo. It's coming up now, and he didn't have his ultimate because he used it in the last fight. So CLG actually caught him because Solo was topside, so it was a straight-up 4v4 that they won off the engage.
CLG looking to try and take this Lyra down. Lyra, I don't think he can make it in time. They have no vision, so the smite is there for CLG.
Yeah, you had to guess when you put down that ward, and they were just too late because there was that Mountain Drake behind CLG. Let's see this one more time. This is after Biofrost died. This is the start here where Stixxay throws out the ulti, hits Apollo. Hakuo has to jump in, save him, but doesn't quite get there in time, and Fallen Bandit is already on top of him. They get those 2 kills, and that's kind of like everybody's right in the meat grinder there. The Mundo and all that damage from Stixxay that's coming out. He's so far ahead.
And I think it would have been worse if that realm walk completed. So good presence of mind from Febiven to cancel that one out with a stun over the wall. But CLG now with Baron buff. Surely the mid-outer turret's going to die soon.
Surely. I would assume so. It's one that you would assume died like 15 minutes ago.
It's one of the most resilient mid-outer turrets I've seen.
Yeah.
Still standing here at 30.5 minutes. But CLG, no. Easy to guide the wave in and make sure they take that off the map.
Yeah, and Febiven's on the top side now. The wave clear is much diminished in the mid lane, and they'll get this one off this way.
The rule continues. Febiven not in mid lane. Mid-outer turret dead. The CLG still pressuring.
Lasted a long time, 30 minutes. That's more than some teams last, let alone an outer mid turret when you're losing. So Clutch Gaming, I mean, they go late because they can hold on to games. They can turtle them out.
Gonna have to dodge a lot of pressure here. Fallen Bandit will get the bot lane going as well. And also remember, Ryze, we've seen a lot of Ryze split pushing today. With the TP up for Huhi, he can comfortably pressure using that Baron buff. 2 minutes still for Clutch Gaming to try and defend these turrets.
And 1-3-1. Oh, actually Stixxay is going to go for the red buff to pick that one up because their jungle is up. Yeah, he'll feel relatively safe too because he has QSS, so Ashe arrows aren't an issue for him. There's a QSS or Mercurial Scimitar on Wiggly. Wiggly, let's check back in with him. 4-0-4, he's been doing really well, playing alongside Biofrost. So it's a good, honestly one of the best debuts that you could ask for in terms of controlling the enemy with blue buff, keeping Febiven down.
I'll take the objective there as well. Fallen Bandit maybe too far in the front line.
And,
oh, good pillow. Really nice from Lyra. Febiven is going to get that kill, but Arrow's going to miss. Biofrost's going to portal out of the way. And Huhi does take the top tier 2 as well.
Yeah, we probably keep talking about Wiggly here from Academy. Said, you know, focus on that because that was, oh, coming in from the back side, kind of just waltzing on through, assuming they aren't going to do anything to him. And they do everything to him. They have Executioner's Calling. They have all this damage they can pump into him. Sure, it took a while, but they were able to just stop him and he didn't flash. Don't know if it was up yet, but I assume that it was, and he kind of just held it. It didn't seem like, kind of felt like he would make it there. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He did have the flash up, decided not to spend it, which I am okay with.
I like what you pointed out as well for Huhi's Ryze with the QSS. Normally you see a lot of cleanses in these kind of matchups. Braum, Ashe, Syndra really does set up as like, hey, take cleanse in mid lane, but if he doesn't have TP, Huhi can't do what he's doing right now and pressure all these waves. So CLG set up well. Clutch Gaming still fighting from a relatively significant deficit.
And the QSS, like you said, will shut down a lot of those pick options or those engages. And Mountain Drake on the table, Clutch Gaming have the inside track to it, and the Baron buff is about to drop off. So they've lost all of their inner and outer turrets across the map. 6 turrets to 3.
No, surely not. That's actually pretty close. Lyra, though, is able to smite the objective down. And CLG, I think, are just trying to push down mid and take maybe an inhibitor turret here on the top side.
Yeah, gotta get vision here. Make sure that they can pressure afterwards. Now this is the hard part of the game where you gotta try to break the turrets, but I wonder what they'll do here. There's potential for Biofrost ulting a turret and just forcing things down. It's one of the things that you can do with Bard.
And now it looks like they'll just romp through the jungle, take out the control wards, put down vision of their own. Wiggly also continuing what I assume to be a pretty high counter jungle percentage this game.
I was looking multiple times during the game, and it's like his jungle is like all up, and he's just kind of living in Lyra's jungle. But now, Solo's at that point where he has Storm Razor, Youmu's, Trinity Force. If he can get barrels onto squishy members, which is hard to do, it can actually turn fights, because he's the person who's been doing really well on this team. Febiven's been doing well, but like relative to his opponent, he's not crushing Huhi or anything like that. He's still doing well kind of in the face of adversity, whereas Solo is actually thriving here. 80 CS up, 90 CS up actually. Ooh, not quite hitting Lyra there. Stixxay missing out on the ultimate.
Yeah, just short there. The root didn't quite last long enough. But the red buff does go over to Stixxay, so CLG continuing to press forward in clutches half of the map. Huhi basically is permanently in top lane. The Febiven now going to have to go and deal with the minions. Huhi though taking it back, so looks like he does have some items to pick up. And CLG just happy to reset with Baron coming back up in a minute and a half.
Stixxay, I think he can afford the Runad's Hurricane and then have all these on hits, the Rage Blade plus the, actually, Rapid Fire Cannon. Oh, looking for effective range. So saying it's not going to be team fight front to back as much as it's going to be just at least getting this damage off.
This wants to shoot the turrets too, I think.
Yeah, that's
maybe in a siege.
That's the thing too, that I don't think about it as much on champions that aren't Caitlyn or Tristana, but you're absolutely right. You can actually use it to just walk up. And it's probably even better on somebody who has low mobility and no way to really get away. So keep in your distance and keep yourself safe, of course.
Yeah, if CLG get free time on the objective, it's very easy to take with Graves and Varus, but CLG have kind of grinding it out now against Clutch, who, like you said, are very good at delaying games and pulling them to a point where they can win in the late game.
Yeah, they lose very slowly. They kind of grind you down, and if you aren't able to keep things tight there...
They dodged that. That was really smart. Ulti from Biofrost might set it up. Hawkwo's Unbreakable about to run out. Q's going to find two. Latch is good. Wiggly there with the ulti almost takes out three on the front side. But Huhi, oh my goodness, that barrel.
Yeah, that was a money barrel right there. Clears out almost the entire wave. Like I said, he's at that point. Solo has those big power spike items, those big ticket items for the Gangplank. Just landing those barrel combos.
CLG, I mean, would have been happy with a pick there, but just trying to apply pressure and maximize the advantage they have before Baron respawns. They get another blue buff onto Huhi. They don't have to worry about Elder Dragon for a while, so now it's time to move over and threaten this Baron. Remember, Stixxay, despite being bot right now, is going to walk over and has TP. CLG already with their globals to try and make something happen here.
And triple Cloud Drake, they get around pretty fast. And everybody in! Party Portal!
Did that blue ward see them?
I think so.
Oh, actually, Lyra not going to get caught. He's in the front line. That's a bad one to lose right now. Wiggly does have ulti, but can't quite get through the shield.
Lyra has Warmogs, so he's going to regen this all up if he's not touched.
CLG just rushing this, though. They're going to try and take it as fast as they can. Lyra maybe can get in for a steal.
Oh,
He's going to get knocked up by the Baron. He doesn't have flash, so I don't think it mattered. And the Baron once again goes over to CLG.
The Baron's rigged. What was that? It went over the walls. Not even anybody near him. The guy wasn't a threat. He has tentacles in back there. That is crazy. But Lyra has no chance to get to the blast cone, and Solo, ooh. Yeah, that's good from Huhi to disengage and not greed for that and go too far forward.
And again, Huhi just applying all this pressure. Once again, Baron is back, so Huhi can basically stay here and just constantly shove waves into the turret and threaten them. Elder Dragon also up in a minute 35. It's 4 Drakes to 1. So CLG get a ton of value after picking it up. And again, we're just going to see if we can answer the question of can CLG take inhibitor turrets? That's really been the only thing stopping them this game.
I mean, it's been something stopping them this whole season, and they find themselves tied for last place. So that early game has gone well, just progressing the game. Seems like you changed the players, changed Wiggly, Fallen Bandit into the roster. Oh, same issues.
Oh, all right, good thing he had QSS. Flash over the arrow, but able to get out. Biofrost portals him away. Fallen Bandit sticking around for maybe too long here. Team's going to be back to try and save him. Biofrost has ulti, so Fallen Bandit should be okay.
Gotta watch the top side. There's Huhi just pressuring it in. Remember, they have the Baron buff.
Febiven here to answer, but Baron creeps up pretty strong. Fallen Bandit sticking around. He's trying to pressure the turret. CLG maybe just happy to take mid here. Fallen Bandit also pressuring on Solo. Every cleaver matters.
Apollo.
Hard in mid fours. Apollo is dead. Stixxay able to pick him off. Lyra going to try and get a kill here, but I think maybe they can do it. No, the spear lands and takes out the Varus. But here's Huhi now. Gets a rune to the front line. Lyra dead. Hawkwood now as everyone's going to flash away for Febiven. It's gonna go golden. Solo getting shot down. Wiggly able to take him out. But Febiven's gonna die here as well. And CLG, they swoop into the clutch base.
And that's going to be a back from Huhi into a teleport to end the game.
And CLG, it's been a tough season for them, but a win here matters so much for the pride of their fans. Wiggly and Fallen Bandit coming up and making it look good. Wiggly dominating Lyra. Into the fountain! They take down Huckler, they get the ace! And CLG are gonna take down Clutch.
End it with style, baby. Turret fountain dive there to end it and take home the victory for CLG.
That's a Wiggly-sponsored Ryze realm whoop, by the way. He's got words for players, certainly. Kind of a fun guy. Likes to throw shade every now and then, and whoever's call that was a fun game for CLG fans to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. CLG, they haven't had a game like that in a while. One where they were crushing, one where there wasn't as much worry about maybe the game slingshotting or rubber banding back at them. And Wiggly had a large part to do with that. Stixxay in particular too. It was that bottom lane combination of Stixxay and Biofrost. They looked good. Huhi also looked good, but they didn't have ReignOver, they didn't have Darshan, they had Wiggly and Fallen Bandit. Fallen Bandit did his job, and it looked like Wiggly was teaming up with Biofrost and Stixxay a lot for that game.
Yeah, it certainly felt like CLG picked a pretty stable comp for themselves. Huhi was playing PvE for a lot of that game, but was still effective in applying pressure. And yeah, the stars really, Violent Wiggly, as you called it, making sure the plays happen. I mean, I feel like the CLG dual lanes had a pretty good year, all things considered, given how many struggles the team has had. But for that, we are going to send it down to Ovely May and CLG's jungler, Wiggly.
Thanks, guys. Wiggly, congratulations on the game. But first off, I'm a little hurt. I talked to you yesterday for the CLG Academy games, and you didn't tell me that you were going to be in today. So when did you find out that you were playing this weekend?
Well, I kind of knew the whole week, sort of. It was never explicitly said, but I kind of knew that I was going to play. But it was made official like last night, so that's when I knew, actually, for sure.
So it sounds like you had a relatively short amount of time to kind of work with the main team and start your coordination with them. So how did that go?
Yeah, we were preparing for our academy matches, so we were just kind of tossing players in and out, like seeing how they meshed with the main team and also preparing for the academy semifinals. But it was pretty easy meshing with the main team guys. Like, they're all really nice, and they just helped me a lot, like just how their team functions and all that sort of thing. So it's pretty easy.
So you got to play some warm-up games in Academy and then come to LCS on the big stage. So how was your first game?
Honestly, it was pretty easy. I don't think anything went too well. It was just kind of by the books. Like, our level 1 went really well. Like, we got everything we wanted, so we just played the game out 1-3-1, super slow, and there's a couple of blunders, but overall it was pretty easy, I think.
Now, what would you say is your goal for this weekend playing on the main team? Are you looking to prove yourself?
I mean, of course I'm looking to prove myself, but at the same time, I'm just trying to get wins, just playing the game. I enjoy playing, so there's not a true goal or anything, but it's been fun.
Going to end up carrying both the Academy and the main LCS roster, but Wiggly, congratulations again. And to wrap up the day, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Ovely. A big performance on the LCS stage there from that man on your screen, Wiggly, to pick up a win for CLG, moving to 6-11. But they put together a fairly solid win with a new look for the squad, both Wiggly and Fallen Bandit into the lineup.
Yeah, and I think both them had good moments. Fallen Bandit got his signature Mundo, and it felt like they
got it when that's your signature champ.
Hey, he's like 9-11 in Academy with this thing, and once again gets his first LCS win on it. So you can see Solo has a good GP, and they want to kind of counterpick it. But Wiggly on Graves really kind of took over this early game, making plays in the bot lane and in the top side all over the place.
Yeah, and this early game was fairly familiar when watching a CLG game.
Right, yeah.
Oh man, they got this Graves with good early game ganks. May as well be ReignOver, right? Mm-hmm. But what actually changed this game was the fact that beyond the mid game, they did find enough picks to close out the game. This is the first win CLG has had in the second half of the split. It breaks their massive loss streak. They were on an 8-game loss streak before this game.
And I mean, Clutch did have some good plays, and that's kind of why you see that plateauing between the 18 and 28 minute mark. because they were finding some pickoffs, but it was still the kind of thing where it didn't never feel like they had pressure. It was more like they would just punish CLG when they stepped a little bit too far forward.
Again, to Jad's point, it kind of perfectly illustrates the difference between the previous CLG roster and this one. Is like, yeah, you get that early lead, then there's the plateau, and then up to this point in this
Didn't have
season,
this part,
you would
though.
then see it kind of fall back into the other team's favor. This, this version of CLG able to find the necessary picks and plays to end up pushing for a victory. Of course, both of these teams are outside of the playoff picture.
Yeah.
And so we talk about, what these organizations want to do here in terms of closing out their split. Obviously, you want to end on a high note, right? You still want to pick up the wins that you can, but in particular, looking at CLG, I think it's a fantastic step to take an opportunity to give these guys a moment on the stage, test their mettle against some LCS players when looking towards the 2019 season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we had so much hype early on in the day, and this game with no Worlds implications didn't feel very exciting. But it's a very meaningful game for Fallen Bandit and Wiggly because it's a test of whether or not they can work on the LCS stage. It's a test for 2019. And I do find it interesting as well when we're saying, like, next year, Clutch still has regional qualifiers.
That's
dude.
that's
like,
exactly what I was about to say. Was like, yeah, we can talk about CLG, the feel-good moments with the new guys coming in, but like for Clutch Gaming, you're still fighting for something, and you just lost to CLG, who is basically trying these guys out, and Biofrost building Leandries on Bard.
I want Bard mains to tell us why that's a thing.
I don't. So we tested it.
Well,
It does not
Biofrost
apply
to
on
tell
your
us why
ult.
that's a
You
thing.
literally have your autos and your Q, and you have 2 marksmen on your team. I don't think that's the build.
Literally, I can't think of a single reason. But hopefully some Bard mains out there will shed some light on it. But again, I want to return to the Clutch point.
This was the most interesting
We
point.
talked a lot about
I know,
that.
right?
I
Like,
agree.
but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the point you were making, which is Clutch's postseason. And of course, it's not in their hands. They are relying on their champion points, just landing them in the perfect position to get into the gauntlet. But what do they need to do as a squad, right, in order to even have an opportunity to win in the gauntlet? They just lost to the only team, aside from Golden Guardians, that was below them in the standings.
It's tough, man. Like that, a loss like that just doesn't look good. They got killed in the bot lane a bunch of times. There's a lot of pressure up there. Solo had a monster CS lead.
Solo
in the top
was
side.
very far ahead.
Yeah, but that doesn't actually convert into anything. And like we said, all they did was they did land some chain CCs whenever a member of CLG got too far ahead. But this is definitely a team that has that kind of hollow look in the eyes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of Hakuho's champion pool because he doesn't feel that effective when he's on Braum, Tom Kench, and that's very similar to the meta right now.
Yeah.
So they're either opting into a less meta pick, in a sense like Biofrost Bard was, right? It's something you're really comfortable on. Like maybe they actually have to reach for Thresh.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
He's not huge in the meta right now,
Yeah, but why not, right?
they're losing bottom lane pretty badly almost every game.
That's good. I'm taking a look at their wins. Morgana game, 2 Rakan games, Azira, and 2 Braum games.
Morg's good too, but that's usually banned against them.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot to be in, but I think to your point, Jad, with the position you're in, you got to just try something different, right? Fall back on the comfort, fall back on what you know.
Yeah, and it's not always as simple as champion select, right? We had their coach stepping down and resigning like 3 weeks ago. There's-
Scragg's coaching both of his teams. They had a challenger or academy playoffs this week they had to prep for, and this.
I will not give them good odds to make it to Worlds.
I don't think anybody
Bold
would
prediction
at
there,
this
Jack.
point. But for CLG and the
Overreactions.
promoted Academy members, they pick up a very solid win today. As we wrap up the day, let's see how the teams are ranked. With their win today, Team Liquid locks first place in the regular split and earns a bye to the semifinals. So we will see them in Oakland. The remaining bye is up for grabs between 100 Thieves, Cloud9, and FlyQuest, all tied for second. And behind the top 4, there's 3 teams still in the running for playoffs, but only 2 spots remain. So let's take a look at how today's results affected your predictions.
Not bad.
Ooh, look at that.
I'm
Jack
very
making
surprised
up
by the
game.
CLG win, for sure. And those numbers are still wrong. They haven't corrected for the time
There's
they
no need to,
accidentally
Jack.
didn't
I don't know
do
what
your
you're talking
flip-flop.
about. It wasn't on air.
TSM guy. I know I was only one
I'm
game
going to keep
before the day.
sweeping it under the rug.
It's going to be forever contentious.
We're going to check this.
Plausible deniability.
Let's go. We'll go back. We'll review the VODs, and we'll make
We're
sure.
tied.
Can you prove it?
Yes.
If he says
Really?
it enough times, right? No. Either way, it's a very tight race, especially if it does get evened up there, which means we rely on tomorrow's games. But were there any differences? Or was your guys' only difference in predictions today's Optic TSM game?
What's interesting is, as far as the folded sheets are concerned, we can still change our mind. Tomorrow's 4 playoff impacting games are the same.
Yep.
CLG versus Golden Guardians, however, could decide the race.
So if we
for the
continue,
Predictive Pineapple.
if we continue what we both said with our foldy sheets, there's only one game that we wouldn't differ on
Yeah.
potentially, and that is that game. So
Okay.
there's a chance we also just
But
pick the same thing
will that
again
change
because
the
we're
foldy
losers.
sheet predictions? You never know.
Anything can happen
How
here on
dare
North
you.
American LCS. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at what games we have in store tomorrow with our schedule presented by Jersey Mike's. Game 1, Pits Optic against 100 Thieves. Then FlyQuest and Cloud9 face off for a shot at second place in Game 4. But based on today's games, we're guaranteed at least one tiebreaker and a potential for 4.
And
You're holding your hand up. What do you got for me?
Because the first game of the day, 100 Thieves versus Optic, will decide if we can potentially even have more than 2. All the
Gotcha.
scenarios where there's more than 2 tiebreakers are only if Optic is able to win that game.
That's
And
correct.
also
So if you
the-
like tiebreakers, you're rooting for Optic.
Exactly. If you want to see some games on Monday,
That also means that if 100 Thieves wins, we're guaranteed to play the tiebreakers tomorrow because we will play up to 2 at the conclusion of the day.
And
And
if 100 Thieves beats Optic, we know the 6 teams going to playoffs.
woo! Oh, so it could all be decided very quickly.
As far as like who's going. And then
Right.
the other
Yeah,
seeding
but
is up
seeding
in
and
there.
placing and all that to be determined. Well, if you need more league action, stay tuned for the EU LCS rebroadcast going live right after the show. And now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the NALCS. Good night.